The NHL Draft is complete, and the Dallas Stars have selected who they hope to be 6 future Dallas Stars and potentially found another Logan Stankoven. I'll tell you more on a Stars Draft recap.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a 2025 Dallas Stars Draft recap on today's episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It was a busy day 2 for the Dallas Stars that saw them make 6 selections, and their first selection at number 94 turned a lot of heads, maybe one of the best values in the NHL draft this season. We're going to jump right into all the 6 prospects the Stars drafted today. I have some videos for you as well as some information on each one. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So we're starting out with the Dallas Stars selection at number 94 overall, Cameron Schmidt from the Vancouver Giants of the WHL, had a fantastic season in 24-25, 40 goals and 78 points in 61 games, had 4 goals and 9 points in 5 playoff games with Vancouver. And yes, this is a potential another Logan Stankoven. I'm going to throw up some highlights for you as well while I talk about him a bit, but just watch for about 10 to 15 seconds and you tell me who Cameron Schmidt reminds you of, and I'll give you a little recap of his game here from Elite Prospects. Capable of firing in between 2 strides off the rush, picking the corners of the net from low angles, catching and releasing passes, and adjusting his footwork instantly for one-timers. Schmidt can beat goalies several ways, precise and deceptive. He also finds pockets of space to set up his shot at a high rate. And while you watch these highlights, you'll see just how lethal his shot is. Has a very, very strong release. He just beats goaltenders point blank a few times in some of these highlights. And really the knock on him is his size and maybe a reason why he dropped so much, but you'll find a theme in the draft picks the Stars made. They didn't go to overly physical, heavy players. They're drafting skill. And we talked about this a lot in last offseason about how the Stars made a concerted effort to start drafting skill over size. And you can see here Schmidt just turns on the Jets off a turnover. He's so speedy. He's relentless on the forecheck, and he also had an interview with NHL.com and had some wonderful, wonderful quotes in this I want to share with you as well. He goes, I hear the size question once in a while, but it's something I try to stay away from and not focus on that too much. I know what I'm able to do on the ice, and I know that my size isn't going to hurt my game in any way. I just try to focus on the positive things. Schmidt is number 43 in NHL Central Scouting's final ranking of North American skaters for the 2025 NHL Draft. I'll go ahead and replay these highlights on a loop for you, but you can go to his Elite Prospects page, and he really hovers from anywhere from 22 to about 50, depending on what outlet you choose to look at on the NHL 2025 draft ranking. So this is really, really good value for the Dallas Stars. And it isn't just Stars media that is saying this. This is just a consensus thought on where Cameron Schmidt was drafted. It says here, there are a few key elements to his game that make him such a successful goal scorer. Central Scouting senior Western scout John Williams said he's very explosive in terms of his skating, very quick off the mark, and he has the speed to put defenders on their heels on the attack and beat them to the front of the net. Secondly, he's a great shot, quick release on both his forehand and backhand, and simply put, he just puts it where the goalie is not. He also has the uncanny ability to be in the right place at the right time. Pucks find him around the net, and he can convert quickly. He's a very fun player to watch. This is from Steve Sullivan. Because he's so dynamic. I think he is also the drive and determination to be successful as a smaller player. He reminds me of a player like 5'9" retired Steve Sullivan, who just would not be denied. Sorry, the quote was from John Williams still. It was the NHL forward Steve Sullivan that he was reminded by. But this is really exciting, just watching some of his highlights. I really encourage you to go to YouTube. Shout out to Prospects Vision, I believe it is, on YouTube. They put together wonderful, wonderful stuff. You can go to Prospect Shifts as well, and they show individual shifts from each game, so you're not just looking at highlights. Fantastic, fantastic stuff you can find on the world of internet today. But yeah, I mean, just look at his ability to find space. Such a really solid release. You can see some of his highlights here for Team Canada, where he won at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. A really, really fun watch, just because he is that energy bunny, right? And the Dallas Stars may have found another Logan Stankoven, and he was the fastest skater in the NHL, and you can see him here burning around the edge. Really, really nice centering feed here for a goal for his teammate. But really, really fun watch, and it looks like Cameron Schmidt has the potential to have a pretty nice career. And yes, he's on the smaller side, but we've seen smaller players advance and thrive in today's NHL, right? That's the modern NHL. So there's some good things there from Cameron Schmidt at number 94 overall. We'll now move on to the Stars' second pick of the draft, and that came at number 126 overall, Brandon Gozynzski. Brandon Gozynzski, I guess you could say he's probably the more power forward of all the forwards the Stars drafted in 2025. I'll start to roll some of his clips here for you as well. He has more of a net front presence, and he's not huge by any means. He stands at 6'2", 185 pounds. He was born in Scottsdale, Arizona. He was ranked number 68 by EliteProspects.com. NHL Central Scouting North American Skaters had him at number 50. Played in the WHL as well. The Calgary Hitmen this past year had 17 goals in 42 points in 68 games. It's a much more strong, bigger forward. And you can see in his highlights here that I'm rolling, for those of you on YouTube, most of his 17 goals, I mean, nearly all of them come within like a 5-foot radius of the crease. That's where he's scoring goals. And look, that translates at the higher level. It translates at every level. That's where you're going to score goals. Some of those greasy goals. I think every one of these clips, he's right in around the net. I was trying to think of a comparison to him. I couldn't really find one. Maybe a Chris Kreider, just because of his ability in front of the net. I was thinking Mason Marchment to some degree, but like in a lot more control of his body, just because he seems to have a knack for getting to some of those greasy areas. He kind of has a wrist shot, kind of a shot like Marchment as well. And again, these are not comparisons in the sense of I think this is who the player is going to become. It's just kind of who they remind me of to some degree. It's just what kind of the first name that pops into my head. This comes from the hockeywriters.com. They do a lot of great draft profiles. It says Gozynzski has largely flown under the radar this season. The 6'2" left winger with the Calgary Hitmen plays an aggressive offensive game using his size and speed to drive the play, crash the net to scoop up rebounds and finish off scoring chances. He can be an effective agitator, getting under opponents' skins, but is also strong in defense and was frequently used on the Hitmen's penalty kill. Says here, Gozynzski is best when he's in front of the net. Big presence, who's the perfect player to finish off a rebound or jump on a misplay and turn it into a scoring chance. Has decent mobility for his size. It says some of his strengths: offensive zone, defensive positioning, mobility. Improvements for him: defensive aggression, strength, and physicality, and some puck control. So this was the 126th overall pick by the Dallas Stars. Brandon Gozynzski has played the last couple years in the WHL with the Calgary Hitmen. Here is a quote from Elite Prospects: "Always in motion, Gozynzski is either first to the puck or immediately pressuring the puck carrier with direct routes and physicality. He forces panic into opponents, punishes them, and wins possession. He skates every route with speed, knocking away sticks and colliding with opponents to create space for his teammates. He's always mucking it up around the net." Again, I think that kind of screams Mason Marchment to me, but he looks to be a bit more in control of his body. You know, I always say Marchment was like sort of like Bambi in some ways. He just was never really in control of himself, but he could be effective. And when you read that little breakdown, sounds like a pretty strong forward checker on the F1. He can get after opponents. And he has a knack for scoring around the net, as you can see here. I mean, nearly all 17 of his goals are right in front of the crease, and that's a good thing in a lot of ways. So there was the first two picks for the Dallas Stars in round 3 and round 4. Of course, Dallas did not have picks in round 1 or 2 here in 2025. Let's move on. Another Finn was drafted, huge shocker, and then a goaltender was taken by the Dallas Stars as well. We'll have a breakdown of each of them in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. You can use FanDuel to track your favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. When you're watching the Rangers this summer, get in on the action. It's a lot of fun. WNBA, the Dallas Swings, Caitlin Clark. You have golf still in full swing. The final majors upcoming here in a few weeks. The Open over in, it's going to be Royal Portrush in Ireland this time around. Going to be a ton of fun. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. So we move on to the Dallas Stars' third selection of the 2025 NHL Draft. And yes, you know they had to go to the country of Finland. The 146th pick in the 5th round, Atte Joki. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but I believe that is what it is, Atte Joki. I feel like I've gotten better at some of the Finnish names just because the Stars have plenty of them. But from Nokia, Finland, he's 17, by the way, very, very young. He was born in 2007, 6'2", 201 pounds. His ranking by NHL Central Scouting for EU skaters is number 23. His overall draft ranking by Draft Prospects was 185. The spiel here from Elite Prospects was, while the bulk of Joki's value comes down to his work away from the puck and his play with the puck tends to be on the simpler side, he flashed talent as a shooter throughout the season, capable of both effortless looking inside leg wristers and one-touch releases. Even more frequently, he was in the right place at the right time to pot in a rebound or finish off a tic-tac-toe sequence on the back door. So you're getting some two-way Oscar Beck vibes. I think like better defender than he is offensively. I guess Radek Faksa you could think of as well. Maybe a depth forward in the future. He played this last season in Finland with Lukko U20, had 32 points in 40 games, 15 goals in those 40 games as well. From the HockeyWriters.com, it says here that Joki has a ceiling that's really nowhere close to players higher up in the draft. And if he's going to take his game to the next level, he'll have to hone in on what is going to make him successful and focus on developing those areas of the game. His skating is average. He lacks the overall explosiveness off the first step. And because of that, he leaves more to be desired to his game. He does struggle in creating opportunities with the puck, but it might be the willingness to fish out pucks along the boards in tough areas that makes him desirable for teams. I apologize. There was like 1 10-second clip of a goal on YouTube I had, so there's really nothing I could put together, and it was like a shot from the left circle, so I don't have like a kind of a highlight reel package for y'all, but it says a prospect that definitely will get a couple looks late in the draft, which he was. Glimpses of strong play over the past season. struggled a bit offensively in the Hlinka Gretzky tournament. Finished the tournament with 5 points after a 4-point performance against Switzerland and 4 games, and drew the ire of more scouts heading deeper into the draft this season. Says strength and size, ability to win puck battles, protection of the puck, under construction, skating and speed, puck handling skills, and zone entry. So again, looking at a two-way, I think sort of stereotypical in a lot of ways, Finnish player, responsible on the defensive side of the puck. A lot of room to improve his offense. So maybe a guy you're hoping can become a Radek Faksa at some point, that can play 8 years in Dallas and sort of just be a regular in your lineup. There's a lot to be desired. Again, his ceiling's not very high. It says with the tools he brings to the table, he's capable center that could crack an NHL roster at some point. That said, I wouldn't hold your breath that it happens anytime soon. When he does, look for him to crack a roster as a bottom 6 player who could bounce around a lineup as a little bit of a fill-in. So there you go for a little breakdown of Atte Yoki, another Finn off the board for the Dallas Stars. The next pick in the 2025 NHL Draft for the Dallas Stars, yes, they took a goaltender, Måns Goos. Yes, Goos from Sweden, round 5 at 158th overall. Always exciting when a team takes a goaltender. So here is a highlight package of Måns Goos. Not a ton of beauties by any sense of the word, but he's got some nice stops in here. This was found on YouTube as well. And of course, there's like a 30-minute video of him making stops if you want to see some more from Måns Goos. It says Goos here is elite prospects, good on rush chances, especially breakaways where he's able to smother the shooter with his size, but struggles more with in-zone plays and rebound control. He also has decent technical habits where he's able to maximize that size. He doesn't make himself small like some other tall goalies. He stands at 6'5", 198 pounds. So yeah, a lot of size. And just these highlights, again, just reading into, about a couple minutes I watched, like just kind of very calm in net, seems very positionally sound, just kind of sits there and again, like drops the butterfly, makes it kind of look simple. And again, it's not like any of these shots are incredible or really testing him very much, but there's some good chances. He was ranked on the Daily Faceoff 114th overall by European goalies. He's ranked 4th by NHL Central Scouting in Sweden this past season. In 24 games, had a 3.17 goals against average, 893 save percentage. In his international play, in 10 games, 2.39 goals against and 917 save percentage. He is 18 years of age as well, and he's playing in a 20 under league. So he's playing against some older players. Says here, his best attribute is his size. Covers a lot of net. That he's a wide butterfly stance, takes away a lot of shooting lanes for the opposition. When locked into a shooter, he doesn't worry about making tiny adjustments, keeping his feet fairly static and instead relying on his size and athleticism to adapt to changes rather than trying to find the perfect position to make the save. He's especially good at using his blocker to bat pucks into the corners and out of high danger areas, but his glove hand isn't too bad either. When locked in, he tracks the shooter well with his glove hand, keeping it high and ready at all times. This is from thehockeywriters.com. Says he's very strong at making recovery saves because of his size. It says his biggest weakness, however, is his quickness. And that was a big problem in the U18 World Championship. As a backup, he was put in the net for just 2 games in the round robin. And both those appearances, he struggled when pressured up close. His quickness wasn't on par with some of the better shooters of his age group. And although he could often see when he needed to move, he just couldn't get in front of the shooter in time to make that save. It says here, one of 5 goaltenders invited to the NHL Draft Combine, projected to be a late-round pick. He could slide to the middle of the draft, and he's one of the better goaltenders in Sweden. Had a bit of a tough showing during the championships, but it says here he has all the tools to become a starting goaltender in the NHL. Whether he will get there, that's another question. It's very hard, it says here, to project goaltender. Several aspects of his game that need improvement technically, which could hold him back from finding success against tougher competition. And again, still pretty young as a goaltender. And we'll see how he fares as he develops. But he's a long way away from pushing for an NHL job. But if an organization can wait for him to iron out some of his points, then he could become an incredibly dominant goaltender. And I think it's safe to say Stars got some time until they'll need another goaltender to sort of take the reins of the organization. So that's a little more on Mun's Goos, a 5th-round draft pick by the Dallas Stars at 158th overall. So a Swede to go along with the Finn in the 5th round for the Dallas Stars. All righty. We're more than halfway through now the Dallas Stars 2025 NHL Draft. On the other side, Dawson, Sharkey, and Charlie Paquette. A couple more forwards the Stars have drafted to add to their organization. We'll tell you more about them. Got some highlights as well in just a moment. I have to say, the Stars may have drafted the best draft class in terms of names out there. You got the Goos, you got Dawson, Sharkey. I mean, Cameron Schmidt, that's a hockey name. Gozynzski, that's a hockey name if I've ever heard one as well. And we got a couple more. Dawson, Sharkey, Charlie Paquette. I think those are some excellent stuff. But here's a Dawson Sharkey who we'll start with first. He was drafted in the 6th round, 190th overall from Canada. He's 18 years of age, 6'1", 185 pounds, played in the QMJHL, had 39 points in 54 games, 22 goals to go along with that as well in 2024-25. Says here from Elite Prospects. Actually, I don't think they have a little expert on him, unfortunately. I thought there was. I must have been fooled, but I'll throw a highlight reel tape for you of Sharkey a bit here. You can tell he's got a really strong wrist shot. Excuse me, this is Goos still. Here we go. Here's Sharkey. This comes from a hat trick he had this past season. Really nice wrist shot. He's got a good release. He's able to beat this goaltender a couple of times, really just point blank. And again, this is a later round draft pick, so you never know what you're going to get with these guys. Sometimes it's a needle in the haystack, but we can learn a bit more by the selections as well. If you go to the Dallas Morning News, as the Stars concluded, says Dawson Sharkey, 18-year-old right winger, has spent the past 2 seasons in the QMJHL, will move to St. John's next season when they become the Newfoundland Regiment. It was originally a 14th round pick of the QMJHL. Most players taken that late don't make the league, let alone become an NHL draft pick. So it looks like Sharkey is already above the rest. It says here, this is from PEICanada.com. Has family connections to the Southern Kings area, was eligible for the NHL draft last year, but was passed over, had a pretty strong showing, and then was able to be drafted by the Dallas Stars this past season. So not a ton you can find, but you can go to NHL.com. The Stars have some more stuff on what he was able to do. He's a right winger. And again, there's not really an expert on his game, but from what I've watched, and again, it's not a ton, but seems like a decent skater. His shot seems to be like a real strength of his game. Again, when you watch these highlight reels, you don't get a lot of like the 200-foot games, so it's hard to infer there. I'm not going to speak out of my rear end, so to speak, but got a really nice shot. Seems to be really elusive with his skating too. It doesn't seem like he's a burner, but like really elusive. You can see the move he makes here. Beautiful little toe drag around a defender, and then just is able to elevate in a hurry and pick a corner. And you'll see it again here on his hat-trick goal upcoming. He has the puck with space, walks in, measures, elevates, kaboom, in the back of the net. And it seems like the goaltender surprised it's behind him in a hurry. So we get a look here. This is a shot clock situation. Puck gets fed out in front, right circle. He measures, boom, and fires. got an interesting skating stride as well. It's a little unique, I would say, and it'll be fun for Stars fans everywhere to watch his growth, and hopefully he makes a huge stride just because the name is awesome. Dawson Sharkey is a lot of fun. So if he can continue to punch above his weight class, as I said from that article, he's already done a lot more with a lot less than you would expect out of a player where he was drafted in the QMJHL. And now he's an NHL draft pick. So big congratulations to him. Just huge congratulations to all these guys living out their dream. Like, it's really, really special to be taken in the NHL draft as always. And it's really just the start of their young career. And of course, we get to watch them in junior still, major junior, and hopefully one day make their way to Victory Green here in the Lone Star State. We'll finish up with the final draft pick by the Dallas Stars in the 2025 NHL Draft. Charlie Paquette with the 222nd pick from the Gulf Storm, taken in the 7th round. So another forward to add to the list for the Dallas Stars. Says player type, heavy hitter, physical forward from Elite Prospects, from Ontario, Canada. 19 years old. He is an 05. Paquette scores by creating chaos. He's a hardworking, physical player who dislodges pucks with hits and battles opponents around the net for positioning. He deflects shots, detaches for his check to grab rebounds, and occasionally sets up chances by cutting inside as well. I thought I had another video of Paquette. Maybe I did not show you, but unfortunately I don't have it ready as we speak. But had a really, really productive season in the Ontario Hockey League with the Gulf Storm. 37 goals and 70 points in 68 games this past season. Really, really productive season. He's played the last 4 years in the OHL. So very seasoned. I mean, at 19 years old, you're looking at a guy since he was 16, has been playing in the OHL. So he's playing pretty high-level junior hockey, of course, and has some good size, and is going to be exciting to watch to come. There was one outlet that had him ranked 192nd overall by McKean's Hockey. So, and then the expert I read to you was from the Elite Prospects 2024 NHL Draft Guide. So not from 2025. Of course, some guys can get passed over, just like we saw with Sharkey, and they can get drafted the next year. So Charlie Paquette from the Gulf Storm in Ontario, selected in the 7th round. And when I watched some of his highlights, I did watch some of them. I apologize. I thought I had it rigged up for you, but just again, has the ability to find space and hunt pucks like in corners. There's a great clip of him that I found where he's in front of the net looking to create a screen on the power play. Shot misses wide. He goes and sniffs out a puck in the corner, wins a battle, gets it back up top. It's moved along the blue line. Shot, save, rebound. He's right there to clean it up. Has another really, really strong shot. And scored a ton this past year, career high, 37 goals. Like, you can look at the improvements. His first full year in the OHL, he had 2 goals. Then he went from 2 to 11, from 11 to 21, from 21 to 37. Look at the point totals, from 7 to 17, from 17 to 35, from 35 to 17, or to 70, excuse me. So each year he's improving, doubling his point totals, really doubling almost his goal totals as well from year to year. So I think that's nice to see too from young guys. They just improve each year, and they get stronger, and better. And you hope that continues as they grow. And hopefully that will continue. Stars, of course, now it's on them and the player to some degree develop, right? And the Stars have been very, very good at doing that over the past decade or so. A lot of I guess opinions on the NHL draft or the Stars draft in general. Just looking at I guess just overall feedback on Twitter and scrolling through X from different teams. Like there's some insiders out there that are pretty I guess, happy or I guess applaud what the Stars did. Like, they're just like, wow, the Stars continue to draft really well. And again, like, the Stars didn't have their first round or second round picks. So you're asking a lot to get some of these guys to eventually crack the NHL roster. Once you're in the third round, in a lot of ways, like, it's really hard to do that. But Stars have shown a pretty good track record of finding talent. And it seems like a lot of insiders out there believe Stars may have found some really, really good value at some of their spots. And now we have to wait maybe 5-6 years down the line before we can really, really deep dive on this 2025 NHL draft class. But there you go. That's a little Dallas Stars draft recap for you on today's episode of Locked On Stars. A little bonus episode for you. Figured I'd get this out the night after the Stars made their 6 selections. That way you have something to enjoy over the weekend. And we'll be back in a couple more days with another episode. So there you go. Again, a big thank you to Prospects. I think it's Prospects Visions on YouTube. Let me give them their proper due, since I am using their stuff. They have great stuff that I went through. It was Prospect Shifts is awesome. And then there was just some Western Hockey League stuff. And I also found some stuff on, I think it's Prospect Vision as well. So a big shout out to all those outlets for putting together highlight reel clips of all these players. I'm sure that can be tedious work and long, but it helps out us podcasters like myself when we want to do episodes like this. So alrighty, that will conclude today's episode. Appreciate all the love and support as always. Y'all are amazing. Continuing this off-season stuff. Still going to be going every day here. And then in a couple weeks, we'll start to go down to 3 videos a week, just a heads up once it gets really quiet. Like, of course, we got free agency next week, which can be a lot of fun. We got July 1st. And then after that, after a couple weeks, it really starts to die down. So we'll be getting down to about 3 episodes a week. So just a heads up on that. But we still have a few more weeks before that happens. Anyways, that'll do it. Please hit the subscribe button. Drop your comment below. Let me know how you're feeling about this 2025 NHL draft class. Maybe some comparisons you saw from watching a few of these clips on certain players and more. And we'll see you on the next episode of Locked On Stars. So long, Stars fans.